Welcome to Lifting You Up with Kasandra Prieto, your best friend in real estate, sponsored by Tucson Appliance Company, Chris and Corbin Edwards. We are so grateful to be here with you this beautiful Saturday morning, and we are so ready to pour into our community to lift you up. And we have a very, very special guest, Mr. Jorge Ruiz. ¿Cómo estás?
Todo bien, gracias. Thank you for having me today.
We are so excited to have you. I'm so excited to really get into the nitty-gritty of this conversation because, guys, we have a very, very special guest today that is going to touch on topics that I feel impact every single human being on the planet. So make sure you have your pen and papers and you take lots of notes. But before we dive in, a ver, Jorge, how was your week? Tell me a little bit about how did it go? What was the highlight of your week?
Actually, I just came back from Disneyland.
Disneyland?
Yes, I was there with my family. There was about 17, 20 of us there. So maybe a little bit more. So it was great. It was fantastic. It was very difficult because we spent
17
3 days.
people?
Yes, at least.
Do you guys do that every year?
No, but, well, we did. Not these numbers. But my suegra, she's turning 75 years old. So it was a big celebration for her, and she wanted to make it happen. And we actually went on to take pictures that we took with our little girls, all the little girls in the family, when they were tiny, right?
Oh, that's so adorable.
We took those pictures, and now they're 21, 16, 18. And
did you have them like in the same like poses as you did?
Same exact poses. I do know that there was one bench where we took this very, very specific picture with the girls. There's 5 of them. But I guess the bench was not there, so they used something else or something like that.
Okay.
But I was just kind of seeing it from the outside. The ladies were taking care of that. Every now and then I ran and got stuff for them, but that was pretty much it.
That is so cool, though.
But it was
you can see
fantastic.
such a difference. 17 people at Disneyland.
No.
How do you control that?
I was telling my wife, as a matter of fact, whether it was last night or this morning, that we did fantastic.
Good.
There was no fighting, no nothing. Where we going next? Pick the next thing. Let's go. Yeah. So every now and then, the food, right? Who wants to eat what?
Yes.
But other than that, it went pretty well.
Oh, that's
I
awesome.
really enjoyed it. So, but it was a bit tiring. So.
I bet. Well, that's awesome. So if you guys have been thinking of taking a vacation to Disney with 17 people, just call Jorge. He'll walk you through. Yes. All right. So we're going to go ahead and get started. Guys, why Lifting You Up with Kasandra Prieto? What is our mission? What is our purpose? So, welcome to Lifting You Up. Bienvenidos a este espacio donde celebramos el orgullo cultural, las voces poderosas, and the inspiring journeys that make our community shine. Aquí compartimos conversaciones llenas de corazón y significado. Conversaciones about growth, resilience, and beliefs that shape us. Together, exploramos cómo romper con las viejas programaciones. We embrace new ways of thinking and discover la fuerza que todos llevamos dentro para seguir adelante. Remember, this is a bilingual show, and I'm a Latina, and we're going to be all over the place. This show is about connection. Es sobre levantarnos unos a otros con ánimo, sabiduría y corazón. It's about celebrating who we are y de dónde venimos y hacia dónde vamos, porque cada voz, cada historia, cada momento compartido con nosotros recuerda algo muy importante. When one of us rises, we all rise. Cuando uno de nosotros se eleva, todos nos elevamos. Entonces, without further ado, it is my honor to introduce our guest today, Jorge Ruiz. And I'm really excited to give you the bio and then really dive into, I'm going to give it away, focus. I'm going to ask you all about focus. So guys, make sure that you tune into this because when he starts talking about this, it's just going to be mind-blowing. So Jorge Ruiz is a development officer at United Way of Tucson and Southern Arizona, a certified grief recovery specialist, and the CEO of F.O.C.U.S, Imagine Life LLC. As an ambassador with Horizon Mind, he champions cutting-edge virtual reality therapy rooted in cognitive behavioral practices, bringing innovation to healing and transformation. Guided by his signature framework, F.O.C.U.S, faith overcomes challenges, unleashes success. Jorge is known as a compassionate bridge builder dedicated to creating healing-centered spaces where individuals can rediscover resilience, hope, and purpose. Whether through grief recovery, empowerment coaching, or community leadership, Jorge's mission is clear. Help others see the invincible so they can become the impossible. I love that. Okay, let's give him a round of applause. Thank you so much for being here, Jorge. And we're going to jump right into our questions.
Sure.
Tell me about a turning point that you want to share with us today that changed everything for you.
What I can tell you is that we're going to have many turning points in our life, right? And there are a variety of different ones. Obviously, being married to my wife, it's been quite an amazing turning point, having my children. All those things make a difference. And then as we go on, and I explained to you earlier, whether it's a good thing that happens or a bad thing that happens, how you look at that.
It has everything to do with it.
It has everything to do with it, and can determine what kind of turning point you're going to take, right? But I can tell you that mine, that essentially started the idea that I had something to offer, that I was capable, that I was stronger than I thought, happened in high school.
Okay.
I didn't speak English until I was 16. I had a friend.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, and you speak it so well.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it was because of PBS. I'd like to give them credit right now.
Okay.
Not Elmo, but all the other little characters.
I was like, who's PBS?
Yeah, Channel 6.
Yes.
Well, back in the days, it was Channel 6.
But
anyway, Jorge Hernandez, he was a buddy of mine in high school. I didn't speak English, so I was not doing too good at all in high school. I was about to drop out of, I think it was my senior year. And I say senior because I didn't have the credits to be a senior, but I was done. There was a lot of pressure, a lot of different things happening in my life. And Jorge, literally on the first day of school, on the day that I was done with school, this young man went to my house, kicked me off my bed, dragged me into the shower, threw me in there, waited for me to get ready. By the time we got to Sunnyside, he talked to all the teachers, all the different tables, scheduling, nurse, all that. He got me re-signed into school.
Oh, and this is your friend?
This is my friend, yeah, Jorge. Wow. And so what he did that day was tremendous, because I got here when I was in 6th grade. I stopped trying because of what people believed, or who people believed I was, rather than who I thought I was.
Yeah.
In Mexico, I was a good soccer player, a great student, but identities I was given here was, watch your wet back. And then the friends I hung out with, and all those things. But these guys were the ones that actually cared for me anyway. And all these kiddos were also kind of lost. And so we found, obviously, the dark side, if you will.
Yeah.
To kind of express ourselves, because it was welcoming. It wasn't judgmental. So.
What part of Mexico were you from?
I was born in Douglas, but
Douglas.
I grew up in Agua Prieta.
You grew up in Agua Prieta? You don't from
until about 12.
From Agua Prieta too?
Really?
But I never lived. Well, I lived there till I was.
I lived there for a little bit.
Okay.
Maybe I think it was 6th grade, so it wasn't.
So born in Douglas. And you grew up in Agua Prieta.
I did.
And you moved over here.
I came here to Sunnyside. Well, my first school was Mission Manor, Apollo.
You were
Middle
16?
School, and then Sunnyside. I got here when I was about 12 or 13.
12. Oh, that's a huge
it was
transition.
Difficult.
Yeah. No wonder you're an expert in the.
Well, that's everything that I've worked on, including F.O.C.U.S, and everything that I do is essentially a map to hope, if you will. Because if I went down that road, and I found a map, now I'm giving the map away to people as well. So, but Jorge made it happen, and so the first thing that happened that I can tell you that is very important. He got me back to school. He made sure our first period was together, so he could make fun of me, according to him, because he took me back to school against my wishes.
Against your wishes.
And what was really cool though is there's this word I want you to remember, and perhaps your listeners, all 3 or 4 million of them, can
I think we're talking more about like 10, Jorge, 10 million.
They're all welcome. They're all welcome. So the word is metanoia, and it's, in Spanish, same thing as English. Metanoia.
Yeah?
Metanoia, yeah.
Okay.
And so it's a Greek word that in the Christian vernacular they use the word repentance. This word is the word repentance, but in Greek, in ancient Greek, it means change the way you think. That's what the word means. Change the way you think. And then often people use both together. The words are, repent and sin. The word sin, if you look into archery in the Olympics, when you don't hit the bullseye, the center, with the bow, with the arrow, it's called a sin. The word in Greek, I think, is hermatia. I can't recall exactly, but the word means to miss the mark.
Miss the mark.
Okay, so I can tell you, and it's very true. Repent, you're sinning, and then we can go into that. Or I can say you need to change the way you think because you're missing the mark, right?
Oh yeah.
So then the idea then becomes, well, what's the mark? And where I go with this is the mark is that you're beautiful. There's only one like you. You're a miracle. You've been through a lot, and you should be kind of stronger because of it, not weaker. So to miss the mark is just to forget who you are in God's eyes.
Wow, that's deep. Okay, to miss the mark is to forget who you are in God's eyes.
Exactly, because then you go on to sin, meaning you're looking and you're trying this and you're trying that just to fulfill something that it was already given to you through Christ, essentially, right? So I'm a man of faith. But metanoia happens all the time. And what I mean is you used to think about this way, and then all of a sudden you think about it this way. Well, Kasandra, when you change the way you think, it changes everything.
Yes.
Everything.
Right? Your whole world, your
Exactly.
whole circle.
Exactly. So I'm sitting in this classroom, first day of school. I'm confused because I wasn't supposed to be there. Jorge is looking across me from across the classroom, making fun of me. Right? So I got here when I was in 6th grade. I'd never done anything because I began to feel I was a loser. Nothing. I never tried. I don't even know how I got to 9th grade from 8th grade. It was really bad. But I'm sitting there in this classroom and I thought to myself, what if I try? Of metanoia. Just a little click. Well, I went on to do really well. Really, really well. Including getting Student of the Month for Senior Literature.
Oh, wow.
From a teacher that had not given it in 20 years. So all those things essentially reminded me of who I really was.
Right.
If that makes any sense. And I was able to build from that foundation, and everything I became after that, and I continue to become, is based upon that moment and watching Jorge throw me off my bed and iron my clothes, getting my shot records from my mom. Now here's kind of the sad thing and a big loss for me. Jorge died of leukemia at the age of 18.
Oh my gosh.
I was 19. But it was not just him, it was his family, Jenny Hernandez, John Hernandez, Jeannie and George, their mom and dad, that took me in. My mom will also doing amazing, but having them on the side and supporting me and speaking to me as a person that could, That's why I've told you before, I don't feel sorry for people because already that hurts people.
Right.
You got to feel that every person has the potential to change the world. You just got to figure out a way to pull that gold out, right? And feeling sorry for people is not going to do it.
It's not helpful.
And so these folks, they challenged me. I was a little victim. I didn't speak English. I got beat up all the time. My family never got help from the government or anything like that. They worked hard, but I was always trying to get something from somebody because that's how I thought it was all right. And these folks said, no, man, you have a lot to offer. Let's work on that. And it changed my life. I mean, obviously that was, like this year I'm 25 now, so that was it. Yeah, right.
But that's awesome. Okay, so we go back to a moment where you ask yourself, you're in this classroom and your friends grabbed you and dragged you out of bed and he's like, we're doing this. You don't even know how you've got by. You've transitioned over, but you really are not finding your place. And you're in this moment in time where for once you ask yourself, what if I tried? And everything, your whole world completely changed in that moment.
It was tremendous. It was it changed everything.
And that's metanoia.
If you can do that with every aspect of your life, and then begin to have a tool that reminds you to continue to have that mindset.
Right.
It changes everything. And those of you that are listening, maybe let's look into neuroplasticity and how you begin to develop new pathways in your brain that become habits based upon your thoughts.
Right.
And changing the way you think just a little bit.
It rewires
It begins to do that little by little.
Starts adding new little wiring systems.
And they look just like trees.
Yeah, and like roots.
Exactly. It's incredible, and they actually create actual real estate. I'm passionate about this. We'll go about 3 hours if you don't stop.
Guys, we're gonna have Jorge for the next month.
it becomes actual trees or roots that they can see when they look into the brain. Just
new programming.
Your thoughts are creating actual material things, but it's not a surprise because everything you see here, it's that already anyway.
Right.
But you can see it in that way, and it's really amazing. But that to me was foundational to who I went on to become as a husband, as a friend, as a brother, as a son, as a father. That moment of metanoia.
The way, changing the way you think.
Most definitely. Yeah.
I love it. And we're doing that ongoing.
And keep in mind, Jorge could have done all that. And it was already fantastic and the most beautiful thing a friend can do for you. But if I had not changed the way I was thinking and that opportunity that was given to me, who knows what would have happened.
Right.
But the fact that he did what he did and then I jumped in with metanoia,
and you did.
That was a transformation.
Yeah.
Because it always takes you to also do something, not just for folks to do it for you.
And I love when these stories have an actual moment, because you're right, there's so many different turning points in our lives. But when you can go back to a moment in time where you remember that shift and you remember how it rewired, reprogrammed, how the new software, the new reality, what's that? There's a movie that
Matrix.
You can just with thoughts, you start adding to your whole where you're walking. You're building this whole world around you.
Every day.
Yeah.
More than we think.
And most people, we take it for granted. We don't really see it. Most people don't actually see the power of that. So I love that. Okay, so our second question that drives us right into, what did you learn about yourself through that you had no idea you could?
Well, more specifically, I guess, first of all, I guess I realized I was pretty smart.
I like that. I realized I was pretty smart.
And here, this is not going to validate that in any way, but the truth was I was taking classes that were like sophomore, junior, and senior classes because I was a little behind. But I was getting 100% on all of them. And then I guess what I found out I can do, and I still do it now, when I started taking the literature class, the senior literature class, it turns out that my gift, and this is a gift, and I can see the symbolism in movies, books, and anything and everything immediately, right? So in the classroom, we would read stories, and then the teacher would ask, well, what does that mean to you guys? And to most kids and their most young folks, it was like, well, they were just stating the obvious. In my case, I could just see the meaning behind the words. I could see the story. I could see what it meant. That was instant. Miss McDonald was a teacher. She gave me that student of the month, and it was because I think that's still my gift. I'm able to see. If I watch a movie, let me put it to you this way, and it doesn't have certain hero's journey or anything of meaning that just takes me to go deep or profound, I'm like, oh my God, it's so fast.
I agree.
I like the profundity of a story or a movie, so
the
that
pain, the real emotion,
I want to go in, and a lot of movies sometimes they don't offer that, and I have a real tough time with that. But that was the one thing I found out about who I am that I can do. When I was in school. And obviously after that, I just started going through quite a bit of walls because it was all limiting beliefs that kept me where I was.
Right.
And so changing that, I didn't go on to graduate. I didn't do any of that because I was kind of too late. But it laid out a foundation for learning that I've never stopped and I continue to do anyway. But if it wasn't for that moment, oh man, I don't know, and that lesson that I can do that, you know, because I've gone on out to read thousands of books, lots of books, and I enjoy them. You know, imagine if that wouldn't have happened.
Yeah.
Where would I be? I don't know. I really don't know.
I love that. And you know what, Jorge, I want to do something a little different today. So typically I stick to my 3 questions. We've got about maybe 8 minutes left before like the final. And I want to spend some time on, because I feel like if we go into the 3rd question, we're probably not going to go into, talk to me about focus. I think that's so important. Everybody listening right now, it's so important to pay attention to this part when we all go through some kind of grief. Whether we lose our dog, whether we lost a parent, a family member, a close friend, a job. I mean, you talk about all the types of different losses. And then I'm going to have Jorge's information towards the end, but I want him to go through this little strategy he has about focus that has just been so immensely valuable every time I hear it. So go for it.
Okay, so the very first thing I can tell you is and we're going to touch on it kind of when I finish the presentation of what focus is. So the first part of it is, in order for you to be resilient and have things that you can do for your business or for personal reasons, you must have mental and emotional health. Nothing out here is training you for that. It's very, very seldom do people do this because they offer you medications, they offer you all these different things, and yes, some of them do work. But the idea is to empower you, to empower your thoughts. And so I created an acronym. The acronym is FOCUS, and the acronym stands for Faith Overcomes Challenges, Unleashes Success. Again, faith overcomes challenges, unleashes success. Now, the importance of it is that when you're looking into your future, you're looking into a goal, a relationship, or anything in life, the very first thing is you must see the invisible. You must see it as if it's already happened, right? And that's faith. Faith allows you to do that. The idea, though, with focus, the whole acronym is see the invisible. In other words, you got to activate that thought. You see it, you imagine yourself as it's already happened, as well as you feel it emotionally. That's the first activation. See that invisible, because it'll guide you. I could go into the psychology of it, the neuroscience of it, but we don't have time for that. Just know that in order for you to complete any goal, the first thing you need to do is write it down as if it's already happened, feel it as if it's already happened, and get as detailed as possible. The very next word is overcomes. Faith is the first, overcomes is the next one. Gratitude is the most important fuel you can put in your rocket ship to get to the stars, period. If you don't have gratitude, you have nothing. You could be a billionaire, but have gratitude, and you don't have gratitude, you're broke. You can be broke, have gratitude, and you have peace. And because you have peace, you can create, and you can become something. So if you don't have peace in the moment or in your imagination of the future, visit what you've overcome, which I do. I remind you quite a bit.
Yeah.
Find your gratitude in the things you've overcome and the blessings you have. It can be big, it can be small. The idea is you begin this mindset every morning. Faith, see the invisible, and you will become the impossible. Gratitude, find it. The next word is faith overcomes challenges. If I were to ask you folks to write down 3 difficult challenges you've had and you failed, I'm sure most of you will write them down easily. But if I asked you, what is the lesson you learned in each one of those failures? Could you do it? Yes, you could. So then I would ask you, are they failures or lessons? And the moment you decide that every failure is a lesson, is the moment failure disappears.
Oh.
And now you're dangerous, because now you'll go out you'll be able to run after challenges for the sake of learning, because it's not what happens to you, it's how you react. So if you know challenges bring about lessons, whether you win or lose, you're going to be more willing to take chances. So faith overcomes challenges, unleashes. Unleashes is the next word. And that I can remind you and myself, and this is for me actually, I designed this for me. It's not what you get out of life, it's who you become.
Who you become.
So to unleash yourself, the question I like to ask is, who do you want to become? And I don't want to hear CEO or real estate superstar. I don't want to hear any of that. NBA player, that's great. But what I want to hear is, what type of person do you want to be?
Yeah.
Integrity, wisdom, resilient, hardworking. here, the truth is that anything you can get in life, if it's taken from you, but you had already identity there, then who are you?
Oh, yeah.
But if you become these great things, and because you became this person, you got those things, then even if they take that, you're still who you are.
You still got it.
You can rebuild again. So the processes and all the difficulties of life are going after making you better, right? And then the final question is success. Or not the question, but the word is success. Faith overcomes challenges, unleashes success. Who is the most challenging opponent you will ever have, Kasandra?
Me, myself, and I got 3.
So when you realize that, that means you know that you won, because all you got to do is beat yourself a little bit of every day. Use the Kaizen method, and one day at a time, a little bit at a time. This mindset right here that I've just given you, the focus mindset, once you activate it, as many times as you want, you're going to run through walls.
Oh.
And that's what I was going for. I want people to be reminded that they can. And finally, in my case, I'm rooted in Christ. And so to me, the author and finisher of my faith is Jesus. And so he's the one that, all the things that I want and all the things that I think I need, I let him decide for me. Because a lot of times we don't know. The things we want, we don't need. The things we need, we don't want. But he is the originator. He to me, he's the one that gave me focus. So
I love it. Thank you so much.
Really quickly, the last thing.
Yeah.
And this is one thing you're passionate about. It's hard to focus if you don't have mental and emotional health. We don't process loss the way we're supposed to, folks. And when we don't process loss of any type, death, divorce, relationship, a loss of a job, you name it. If we don't process those things, whatever we feel becomes our identity. And then we get stuck in the past, and we don't want to do that. So I help you get all those things out of your system so that you have a brand new computer. So when software comes in, it doesn't buffer. But I can do that as well. And I put all this together for you so that you can thrive. That's my whole thing.
I love it. Jorge, thank you so much for sharing with us. I hope that you all got a lot of that last 10 minutes. As I mentioned, you guys can reach out to Jorge directly. I have his contact info here. But every single one of us deals with some kind of a loss. And again, it doesn't have to be a human. It could be a change in work, a loss of, opportunity, career. Transitioning from not having your kids with you anymore. There's so many different types of transitions.
And they shape us, unfortunately.
Yes, absolutely.
In a way, if we don't process them.
So the way to deal with them, there is a specific way to truly get through and not get stuck. And this is what Jorge has to offer. I think I'm going to have you back on the show some other time. We'll dive in even more. But remember, you can always find us on YouTube. You literally will Google my name, Kasandra Prieto, with a K and one S. Excuse me. And I will have the replay there. I will have Jorge's information. So if you guys want to contact him, his phone number is 520-878-8149. And then can you look at the website and see if that's correct as well? You probably want your glasses, but
no, I can see it actually. But just go to my email. My email is Jorge Ruiz at FOCUSImagineLife.com.
Well, there you go.
That would be a good way for you to get hold of me as well.
Yes, and if you did not capture this, go on YouTube. Make sure to give me a call. You can Google me, shoot me an email. Again, thank you so much for being here. We are so happy that you made it and that we finally had you on the show. And this has been Lifting You Up with Kasandra Prieto, your best friend in real estate, sponsored by the one and only Chris and Corbin Edwards with Tucson Appliance. So anything that you need as far as your appliances, a refrigerator, a stove, a washer, dryer, they have the scratch and dent area, they have the luxury area, they have something for everybody. And we just actually did a commercial which will be on Univision. It's so hilarious and it's fun, but it's a novela. So make sure to watch us on Univision. If you are exploring the possibility of buying a house, or you're looking to sell your house, make sure to reach out to me. I'm always happy to answer any questions. The market has been so volatile lately, and I feel all of a sudden it dies down for a little while, and all of a sudden everybody has questions. So I'm always available. My name is Kasandra Prieto, spelled with a K and one S. I'm so grateful that you guys were here with us today. Jorge, thank you so much for being here and sharing all this grief recovery. Guys, we will see you next Saturday, and thank you so much for being here with us. I hope you got a ton of nuggets, and we'll see you next time.